This is historic Route 20. It's the longest road in the United States. It's also the road I'll be taking on my first cross-country trip from Newport, Oregon, where I'm at right now, to Boston, Massachusetts, 3,300 and something miles away. I wanted to take a little time today and tell you about a fork in the road I'm about to come to in life. And, well, you're just going to have to stick with me on this one. Trust me, it may be worth it in the end. Now, let me put my serious voice on, and we'll get started. The great Yogi Berra once said, "When you come to a fork in the road, take it." Today, we're going to come to a fork in the road that I have a feeling is just going to be too big to take. We've all come to forks in the road in our lives, whether it's riding or just in life in general. For me, a big fork in the road was when I decided to get back into motorcycling. I was at the intersection of don't do it, it's too dangerous, and screw it. Go buy yourself a motorcycle and live your life. I went that way. I bought the motorcycle and started living my life. And that has turned into one of the biggest forks in the road I've ever come to. But this fork in the road that we're coming to today, it's much bigger than that. Stick with me, it'll all become clear soon. You see, today, I wanted to hop on Route 20 and sort my mind out about this big trip. It's going to be the biggest adventure I've ever taken. And it's certainly a fork in the road as far as my life goes. I'm getting old. I'm not that old. But you know, I don't have 40 years more of this to look forward to. 20 maybe? 30? I don't know. 10? Tomorrow might be my last ride. Who knows? My point is, we all come to a fork in the road in our lives where we have to decide, do we want to do the easy thing or do we want to do the hard thing? Do we want to do the safe thing or do we want to do the thing that excites us? Some forks in the road that we come to in our lives don't necessarily involve, oh dear God, don't necessarily involve, deciding whether to do the fun thing or the safe thing. It sometimes comes down to, should we do the thing that's gonna keep us alive, or should we still, stick with that bad habit that's probably gonna kill us in about 30 days, according to my doctor. What? I don't know. I guess that's a whole different video. Anyway, my point is, riding motorcycles is a constant fork in the road. Do we take the twisty route and have a little fun? Or do we take the long, straight, safe road and have a 20% better chance of getting home alive? Do we go another 10 miles and then head home? Or do we go another 200 miles and find some seedy motel in the middle of nowhere and stay there? That's one of the forks in the road I'm facing today, but it's not the big one. At some point within the next hour, I'm going to have to decide, should I keep going and go out to, say, Bend, Oregon, stay the night, and then come home tomorrow when the weather's a little iffy? Or should I ride for another hour, make this stupid video, and then go home like a normal person? That's not the big fork in the road I'm facing today. More on that in a minute. Are you still watching? I will say, if Route 20 were like this the whole way from Newport, Oregon to Boston, Massachusetts, I'd be a very happy camper. Unfortunately, I got some news the other day from someone who's ridden this route that says Route 20 can, in fact, be a tangle of strip mall hell. If you're not from the United States, a strip mall is, how do you describe it? It's a bunch of stores in a strip. It's like a mall like an indoor mall, but it's outdoor. Sort of, it's got one big parking lot and a bunch of stores. That's basically what it is. And they're none of the stores that you'd ever want to go into. There's no motorcycle stores in the strip mall, usually. Although there is one that I'm aware of. But anyway, that's a whole different story. Here's a fork in the road, not the big one. We'll get to that in a minute. That I'm coming to on this little adventure that I'm on this weekend exploring Route 20. My brain and just about every part of my body says, you have the perfect bike for a cross-country adventure. This Triumph Tiger 900 Rally Pro can do anything. It's fast. It'll go off-road like nobody's business. It's good on gas. It's comfortable as hell. And it has all of the features you could possibly want. It's got the heated grips. It's got the windscreen. It's got the digital readout that tells you basically nothing. But I've supplemented that. It's got a heated seat, which is currently warming my tushy. Did I mention the heated grips? It's got everything. It's got 16 kinds of traction control. It's got cruise control. It's got everything. My brain says, like I said, it's perfect. My heart says, go trade it right now for a Harley, or even better, Triumph's new 1200 RS, the Speed Twin, and use that to go across the country. Because the reality is, while this bike is perfect for this ride, it's not fulfilling the romantic side of this journey that I want to take. In other words, while I love this bike, and there's a new exhaust on the way that's going to give it a little bit more character, this bike doesn't have a heck of a lot of character, I've come to realize. And I'm going to miss that. I know I'm going to miss that on this trip. I'm going to say to myself, you know what, dude? You should have just taken your Scrambler, because you love that thing. And even if it's not the perfect bike for this trip, at least you'd have your buddy with you. And I'm not saying my Tiger's not my buddy. It's just not the same kind of buddy. You've got that friend who's just crazy and wears a yellow jumpsuit out for ride. What? No, that's too specific. Anyway, you've all got a crazy friend that you love and adore, and you just love going out and being a hooligan with. And then you have that more practical friend that, does things that are smart. Well, this is my practical friend, and my Scrambler's my crazy riding buddy friend. And so the crossroad here, I've come full circle. Do I take my good riding buddy, who I know is a little crazy and is absolutely gonna add a whole level of fun that I can't even anticipate, that I couldn't possibly come up with on my own? Or do I take the one that I know is going to get me through, safe and comfortable and warm and fed, and just play it safe? I could almost 100% guarantee you I'm going to be playing it safe and taking my my Tiger here, because it really is an awesome bike. It just doesn't have a whole lot of character, so I'm going to have to add some character. I'm going to add a Scorpion exhaust, which should be here on Wednesday. I'm going to get some more off-road biased tires, because, it's going to be a long ride now. I want to do some off-roading along the way, maybe. But at least add some character. I've added a ladybug, as you can see over here, so that's a good start. And of course, I've got my hair twisties that I picked up in, where was that? Palo Alto or something, California? I forget. So I'm veering off Route 20 to tell you about the big fork in the road that I'm facing. Life is short. Life is messy. Life will throw you a curveball every once in a while. And sometimes, sometimes you come to a fork in the road. Like Yogi Berra said, when you come to a fork in the road, take it. Sometimes, though, it's just best to leave it. You'll see what I mean in a second. Oh, jeez. You know, one thing I gotta realize about doing a cross-country trip is that I really do need to set aside a few minutes every now and then to jump off the planned route and go see something fun. Go do something different. Go experience the surroundings a little bit. You know, stop and smell the roses, or as it were, well, we'll get to that. This is one of those roads. It's flat and straight, and there's not a cop within probably 15 miles of this place, and I'd really love to see how fast this bike can go. But I think I'm just going to calm down a little bit. Get to my destination, because, you know, now, I'm no philosopher. I'm no poet. But sometimes there's a sign that maybe you should do something different. Maybe, you know, take the fork in the road. And then sometimes maybe you should just leave it. And, well, what do y'all think? So, I've come to a fork in the road. Oh, Jesus. It's time to really, you know, start thinking about what it is I want to do with this life. I'm hungry. All of a sudden, I don't know why. Why am I hungry? Oh, right. That was a whole lot of work for very little payoff. But, here we are. At the fork in the road. Smash that like button? I don't know. Subscribe? Or at least don't unsubscribe. Come on. Be nice. It's a fork in the road. Catch you on the next one.